Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel of K.L.P Entertainment and your host Gordon Martin. And this is the Lucas Review. Mel Gibson was still a beloved Hollywood megastar when he co-starred with Helen Hunt in What Women Want in 2000. The film had all the depth of a Bewitched episode. But it was still a funny and likable piece of mind-reading screwball kitsch fizziness. It became one of Gibson's biggest hits, grossing $182 million. The lady killer hero, who gets conked on the head and begins to read women's thoughts, had a whole lot to absorb about what tough, sharp, enlightened human beings women really are. That seemed a perfect lesson for Mel Gibson, even before he fell from grace, to be learning. Flipping the genders of this idea feels like a natural, except for one small detail. In What Men Want, K.L.P Henson, all sparkly vivacity and italicized ambition, plays an Atlanta sports agent who's the only woman in an office full of second-rate Jerry Maguire meets Ari Gold high roller wannabes. The premise of What Women Want was that women are smarter and better than men believe. The premise of What Men Want is that men are even more enthralled to their egos and appetites than women fear. As stereotypes go, I don't find that one objectionable, or, for the most part, untrue. But it holds a distinct disadvantage as comedy. The thoughts that get read by Henson's Arlie Davis, after she's passed over for a promotion to partner and gets conked on the head herself, merely confirm what she, and the audience, have already been shown. That men are dogs, and not to be trusted. With her pitch-perfect psychic powers, she's privy to strategic gambits by her rivals that let her maneuver to the front of the pack in the race to sign Jamal Barry, Shane Paul McGee, a beaming young basketball star who's angling to go pro. But the thoughts she overhears don't, for the most part, have the snap of comic surprise. They just fill in the walking alpha blanks we already know. The funnier bits, I dare say, the only funny ones, are the routines around the edges, like the flaked out inner monologues of Ali's assistant, Brandon, Josh Brenner, who looks like a harmless 14-year-old Uber geek but is, in fact, a highly capable sports fanatic who longs to be an agent. Pete Davidson, in an unbilled role, plays the office doofus who's got a secret crush on him. And when Ali overhears their thoughts, it's like a new genre, the down-low telepathic rom-com. Part of what leads to Ali's powers is the spiked tea she's served by a psychic, played by Erykah Badu, who is made up to look like a new age witch and throws out her lines like tauntingly improvised knuckleballs. The movie's end credit outtakes are devoted to her. But the script of What Men Want, by Tina Gordon, Peter Hyuk, and Alex Gregory, is a hodgepodge that always feels like it's scrambling to cover enough quadrants. Ali falls for a smooth bartender, Will, Aldous Hodge, a widowed single father as saintly as he is sexy. She ends up using Will and his 6-year-old son, Ben, Austin John Moore, without their knowledge, as her pretend family. Because Jamal's father, played by Tracy Morgan, doesn't trust a woman without a family. This gambit of hers makes sense, in a connect-the-dots triumphing over sexism way. But it doesn't bring the movie much levity. It's a generic romantic comedy mix-up. And while Morgan's skewed irascibility is always welcome, you wish the movie gave him a reason to lurch into even higher dudgeon. At the center of What Women Want, K.L.P Henson is a blazing ball of compressed energy with a touch of ruthless corporate attitude. Her Ali is trying to scheme her way to the top of a male ladder, and the performance is nearly as single-minded as Ali is. But maybe that's because when it comes to what Ali has to learn about the male animal through mind-reading, she's got nowhere to go but down. The voiceover effect that carries this premise is a shaky one, and some of the men Ali eavesdrops on are better at delivering it than others. The direction of those should-be telepathic punchlines is actually a delicate art. We shouldn't be able to tell that it was recorded separately, on a different day, with a different mood, by oneself in a recording booth. The movie is not without its pleasures, though. The violent zigzag between mainstream rom-com and raunchy R-rated sex farce, a used condom features in a prolonged comic set piece, allows for some pockets of enjoyably goofy nonsense imported from a more confident film. Henson's comic timing remains great even when the material isn't. And Badu is the loopy great highlight of the film, introducing a kind of liberating madness to the film that it would have been wise to follow. Adding to the disorienting effect is that it's completely unclear what Ali is supposed to be learning from her new powers. She does figures out where the poker night is, which gets her in a position to impress the father of the young number draft pick the agency is courting, Tracy Morgan, in a truly confounding role, tonally and logically. But then in order to win the father's approval, she must pose as a family woman, roping her one-night stand Will, Aldous Hodge, and his young son into her fake family, without their knowledge. Because premises this flimsy only work with maximum ignorance on all sides. Of course, she and Will eventually fall in love for real. And Ali, normally tone-deaf in bed, uses her psychic powers to have mind-blowing sex with him. Henson and Hodge have good chemistry, and are both pretty hilarious in both the bad and good love scenes. But that doesn't take away from the fact that one of the primary ways in which what men want thinks hearing men's thoughts would be useful would be an enhanced ability to please them in bed. The point of the film in general seems barely thought through. Ali uses her gift to better cater to a young athlete, win money from Mark Cuban, find out which men want to have sex with her, find out which men are gay, something the film treats with giggling hyperventilation, and find out how sad her dad is about her mom's passing. The film culminates with a big boardroom speech in which Ali tells her co-workers how much she's learned to value herself and her talents. But it's clear what the real message of what men want is. And it's a lesson we could all stand to be reminded of. Don't fake a marriage with a widowed father to court a prospective client and be made partner at your sports agency. That will do, ladies and gentlemen, on the Lucas Review. I'm your host Gordon Martin, and see you in the next review.